y'all like from Felix last week? It seemed like he played pretty well at Florida and carried that into Texas.
Yeah, I think Fee's starting to get the spacing of where we need him, and he's starting to do a better job of, hiding on the baseline and getting to the dunker spot when we need him to. I think we need him to finish at the rim because we need a paint presence. As you know, this team, we like to cut, we like to, off ball screens, so our paint presence can come from passes and come from drop-offs and stuff like that. So just got to keep finishing around the rim, and then he's rebounded it really well. He let Shedrick get to him in the first half of that Texas game, but in the second half, I thought he brought a lot of energy that we needed on the glass.
Is it a confidence thing, a toughness thing, where maybe he's not finishing at the level that you guys want him to so far? Like, what do you think maybe that block is for him?
Yeah, I think it was just, I don't know if it's a confidence thing for him. He was great this summer, and he was great going into the preseason. I think it's just been about finding the opportunities to get rim shots. I think in the summer, a lot of them came out of post-ups and stuff and quick moves, and it hasn't as much this year. Why? I don't know. But just the ability to finish, off the baseline and stuff and stay hidden and kind of keep good spacing, because if his man helps up, he needs to be available for a lob. You know what I mean? Like, nobody can jump with him, and he draws a lot of fouls up there. So I think it's just finding his spots,
On the spacing there, how do you kind of work around some of those challenges when teams are sagging off your line and starting lineup?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think, obviously people have started to do that, and people play analytics. There's certain teams that like to play analytics like that, and I think with Jemai, the more is he just got to be a screener, and he's got to keep moving. And he had 8 points. That was the most he's had at, in 4 games, and a game where teams were doing that to him. So he started to learn, like, if people want to do that, then I'm going to get a lot of driving angles. And Felix did a great job ducking in and giving him an angle on a couple drives. And so I think he's starting to learn it, but he's just got to be a great screener, offensive rebounder, and keep moving and driving the ball. Because if they don't want to respect him, it's going to be hard to drive him or to not stop him from driving whenever he's got no angle.
In the second half, it seemed like he was much more aggressive in trying to get to the rim. Is that kind of the message to him right now, and how much does that help him, even if teams are sagging off?
For sure, yeah. You can't be like a non-offensive player when you're out there and just concede to what the defense is giving you. So, we want him to play aggressive and attack and get a piece of the paint. And if that paint touch equals a shot by him, that's great. But sometimes I think he got Jordan a 3 in the Texas game. Like, that's the type of shots we need, inside out. Bang a 3. Those are how he can impact the game. He can't just be complacent and accept the fact that he's just, they're not guarding me, I'm just going to stand around.
Coach, is there any common denominator defensively what Florida and Texas were doing with Chaz?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think they're doing a great job down, and then teams are starting to get up in him, and they won't let him come off of screens. And we've already added some stuff. Coach has been great about putting in stuff that will benefit us on that aspect and make it harder. At the end of the game, we kind of just went and used what they were doing against them, against Texas, is, if they want to not let him have a shot, then they can't be in the gap once the guy starts to drive. So you went to kind of a dribble drive, and so teams have started to down him, but he'll still get his shots. He's got to keep playing aggressive. He's got to keep looking for them. I'm not too worried about it. He'll get used to that physicality. It's different non-league, and then you get into league, and people start to know your actions and stuff more. So,
Coach,
Georgia's coming off back-to-back top 20 wins, Kentucky, then Oklahoma. How dangerous is a team like that when maybe you guys haven't played your best offensive basketball as of late?
Yeah, Mike White's done a great job with this group. Silas Demery and Asa Noel and Somto, they bring like a different physicality, and that's like the main thing we've been hitting is they're a very physical team, and so we've got to match that physicality, which we obviously didn't do against Florida, and in the first half against Texas we struggled on the glass, and so we've got to match their physicality, and I think we'll do the job defensively, keeping them, making them take shots that we want. They're like 3rd in the nation in dunks, something like that, and so we can't let them get any uncontested looks at the rim. We've just got to do our job and do our part, and I think we'll be good. And then offensively, we'll just keep doing the things we do, keep moving the ball, passing, getting open looks. Guys stay aggressive. Guys have been practicing great. They've got a great attitude, so I think we'll be fine there.
Coach Lawrence sent a message to Chaz at the beginning of the second half last game, and then he mentioned it again post-game. How do you think Chaz received that message?
Yeah, I think Chaz, he's such a humble kid, and he's such a great kid, and he doesn't want to ever look selfish. So sometimes he can think like, ooh, that's not the best shot on this time or this action. We need to get it to somebody else. Somebody's helping. But coach wants him to know, like, that's what you're best at. Like, what you do is you shoot the ball at an elite level, at an NBA level, and so we want him to do that for us. And coach is just trying to get across to him. If you pass up opportunities now, they might not come back later in the game because teams don't want you to get a shot, and so you've got to take the ones that are there.
So I was kind of talking about D-Stone playing free and loose against Texas. Like, what's the balance for D-Stone to play within y'all's offense, play within the actions, but but play loose and not rigid.
Yeah, he, as soon as the game ended, I just told him, I was like, great game. You know, we know you've got that. I said, but you got to keep doing the other stuff. You got to keep rebounding. You got to keep playing defense, because if you don't, coach will start to get on you about that. And he can't become complacent about the fact that, like, he's a, you know, talented offensive player and think that that's going to be the defining factor of what keeps him on the court. His offense will thrive the more he's on the court, and the more he's on the court will be dependent on whether he rebounds, plays defense, deflections, you know, all that type of stuff. So I think he does have a offensive confidence about him that we need, and you know, a kind of a swagger, a natural swagger about him that we need. And so, but he's got to do all the other things, or you can't play him for long stretches, you know.
Did Cade start to look more like himself at Texas? Is he getting healthier, I guess?
Yeah, for sure. Cade is tough as nails. That's a good thing. And in the games, he's told me, like, he kind of just, like, adrenaline takes over and he starts to just go. You know, he missed a bunny there. I don't know if that had to do with his shoulder or not, but he did a great job. He had a nice, you know, putback dunk. He's getting his chippiness back. You know, we need that. He's probably the most physical big we have as far as hitting people, and so we need that. Yeah.
Coach, usually freshmen are going to slow down once you get conference play. Asa Newell is not really hit that wall yet. What's making him so good right now?
Yeah, he is a really talented player, and he looks really comfortable in college basketball, which is a hard adjustment to make as a freshman, and props to him. I think we need to hopefully start the trend of, you know, making him struggle and giving him not a lot of opportunities. Trey Johnson did a great job. There was another freshman so we're going to take the challenge on of these, you know, really talented players. We got to get Igor, we got to get D Stone, we got to get Cade, we got to get all these guys locked into, like, making it hard on him. And if he makes tough opportunities, he makes tough opportunities. But like you said, we want to make that transition tough as he gets an SEC play.
Not necessarily against Arkansas, but Texas. But Bishop Boswell, I feel whether in practice or in games, his energy is a 10, his defensive effort's a 10. How important is it to have a guy like that, whether in practice or game time, to have someone make an impact like that?
Oh, 100%. I mean, that was my whole career, you know, not many minutes, a lot of watching. So, but coach always challenged us when I was a player to, you know, have great energy, get on Sports Center, all that. And Bishop's in a different role because he's going to play in a lot of games, but he has a great energy, keeps the guys really confident. I mean, I remember during the Texas game, you know, I see him walk up to Igor, put his arm around him and tell him something, and Igor, like, shook his head and just dapped him. And so clearly he's giving him good positive energy and positive, you know, advice about what to do. So he's been great, though. He's really handled it well, and I think he's starting to learn, you know.
Phil Gainey started to come out of his mini slump there towards the end of the Texas game.
Yeah, for sure. Jordan's he takes the right shots, and so I never really worry about that, you know. He always takes the right shots. He's starting to see it, and he's only gotten better shape and physically, and so he'll be fine. And it's good to see him hit that corner three. It was a huge one. I mean, you just can't hesitate on ones like those, and so it's good to see him, whether he made it or missed it, he shot it, you know.
How's the transition from being in your new role going now that we're talking to you for the first time?
Yeah, it's good, you know. From playing for coach to coaching with him, it's been a blessing. He's done right by me and my family. He's been amazing. It is funny that the things that I used to be like as a player, I used to think, like, why does he get mad about that? You start to get irritated about, and you kind of feel a little bit of hypocritical from what you would used to think. But like passing, for example, coach used to really get on about, you know, not passing and hitting guys in the numbers or hitting them in the face, like off. And I used to be like, why is that big a deal? And now it happens in practice, and I get so frustrated. So I kind of get it, but it's a great transition.
Anything else?
Thanks, Lucas.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.